Now, on that note, we obviously here at Clekt, we talk a lot about change, both on the podcast and at work generally. We know there's a lot happening at Snowflake. And I think, as you just touched on, right, it was a 4-day event. There was a lot of announcements coming out of that. What do you think from your perspective? I know you were listening in. What did you find were the key kind of takeaways or themes that you found particularly insightful?
Well, I think it's probably worth to sort of step back and just at a really high level, they introduced this sort of concept of a builder and this concept of a knowledge worker a bit more.
Okay.
And Summit's always been centered around the builder. Yeah, a builder being someone who works as a data engineer or as a developer or as a technical analyst. They work inside of Snowflake. They work on the nuts and bolts, you could say. They're the ones building what would be the agents, the data models, the applications. But then you have this new paradigm, which is the knowledge worker, who really is the bucket of everyone else, right? You've got the executives, you've got the sales teams, you've got the HR function or whatnot that really want to utilize that information. They don't want to build, they want to use that information to to achieve business outcomes, right? And so they need to be able to use it, they need to be able to trust it, they need to be able to act on it. And that's probably in terms of sort of at a high level, really important themes to sort of consider here, especially around where they're now talking about CoCo and they're talking about co-work. Some of the other sort of things that I think really I sort of saw from Summit was we are moving into this sort of agentic enterprise space. We're really all about the idea that, agentic enterprise was talked about everywhere in some way, shape or form, and I think that is less about being chatbot centered. It's around doing something.